Welcome back once again, guys, to the Blizzard ANZ StarCraft 2 Pro League, brought to you by Gamestar. We're heading into our third map for the night here in Week 2 with Downfall vs OSC Elite, who have just evened it up to a 1-1. So tell me about this next match, Death.
This could be a bit of a game changer. If Blysk wins this one, and honestly, I'm not sure if he's favored or not. I feel like this is probably 50-50. This game could go either way. But if Blysk wins, I feel like Downfall are going to be pretty happy about the next matchup, which is Pez versus Fury, where Pez is a really strong PvT player, mind you. But if Iaguz wins this, then I feel like we go to an ace match, and we get a lot more StarCraft. So in my heart of hearts, I'm cheering for Iaguz to win this because we get the most amount of games of the day, in theory. What about you, man? What do you want to see?
I just want to see how Blysk is playing. It's been a little while.
True.
And I know Iaguz, you mentioned, I think last week, Iaguz is Korean GM with his Zerg now, so it's not like he's a slouch with it. I think ZVZ is maybe a bit of an obstacle for him, but at the moment he's up against a Protoss. So I'm still sort of feeling Iaguz's Zerg play out to get a gauge on where he sits now in the sort of range of players that we have in our region.
Yeah, for sure. It's that unknown factor. He's such a good player, but we just don't know how good he is with Zerg. And I mean, he's got GM on North America and on Korea with it, but that doesn't really mean anything when you go into a tournament setting. And Blysk is the kind of guy that could not ladder for 3 months and come back and do well in a tournament. Like, I don't know how this game's going to go.
That's it. And Blysk is very good at preparation as well from memory. So let's introduce the man himself here in the top left. Back on the pro scene once again from Downfall, it's Blysk.
And down here in the bottom right, playing for Team OSC Elite in the red. It's always going to feel a little bit awkward saying this in the Zerg. Is Iaguz. Man, he could be such a cheeky boy and just capitalize the Z in his name? Or do you think that would be like too on the nose?
Oh, I think that's actually a good suggestion there. Show that to him. See what happens. Maybe when he wins WCS's Zerg, that can be his celebration.
And I suppose part of playing Zerg now is that he might need to put a double G in his name. Because he certainly doesn't say it in-game, like, ever, that I've seen. Never
it's been a while since I've seen the 2 Gs come up from him, actually. It's funny. Because I know he was getting a bit of the good old Terran Salt for a bit there, thus deciding to change to Zerg. But it looks like Zerg hasn't made him too much happier. But then again, I guess he's quite a gruff fellow.
That's a pretty fair assessment. I don't think he'd be unhappy with that.
No. It's, Iaguz doesn't really have a spectrum of emotions anyway, so I can't tell when he's happy or sad most of the time.
Yeah. I felt kind of sad for him after WCS, so I gave him my bottle of whiskey, and I'm sure it's all gone by now. He's a true legend, true Aussie battler.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you need a lot of whiskey to play a game like StarCraft for any length of time. It's a game that'll just test you, like, as a person, and not just as a player, but as a human being. Like, it pushes you to the limits, especially when you take it this seriously.
It does. And I mean, I'm not even a good player, and this game makes me hate myself more than anything, but I love it at the same time. It's a real roller coaster being into StarCraft.
It is a roller coaster of emotion. I suppose the same goes for sport too, because you could be terrible at sport, but you can get hyper competitive. Like, I don't care if it's on a football field or in your backyard. Like, friendships are ruined and broken, but also formed over games. That's it. In any setting.
Looks like Blysk is back up to his old tricks here with the pylon block at the third. Look at that.
Boy.
Oh my god, makes my blood boil as a Zerg player when this happens.
Oh, is he going to try and do it again? Is he going third time to jump? No, surely not. He cancels it. Iaguz will get that expansion down. And Blysk might just try and dart back in, or I suppose he's going to go and check this other potential third base just in case he forced Iaguz to expand over there. Sees the good news. And what do we have behind this from Blysk? We've got a Dark Shrine. That was the take of choice from Lunith as well in that last game. Worked out all right.
Yeah. DT's apparently flavor of the day at the moment. So we'll see how we go with the DTs this time round. Can get a bit of harass in, and if you're not getting too much happening there, as long as you save them, you can make yourself some nice Archons that can continue that harassment, especially when the Warp Prism comes into play. And we see the Robo about halfway done there in the production tab, as well as Adept Glaives.
Well, Iaguz did manage to scout everything that was happening. He saw the research going on the Twilight Council. He saw the Dark Shrine. So he has all the information that he needs. So now we're going to be seeing him go for probably a couple of spores, a couple of spines, getting that defense up, getting his queens slowly taking up as he goes. I don't think there's any sign of a lair yet because Iaguz is just focusing on drones and his economy right now. Banking up a little bit in the mineral count, but honestly, that's not too bad because he will want that static defense right now.
Yeah, focusing on the economy. Oh, excuse me. 20 Lings about to pop out. Blink now on the way for Blysk behind this as well. So I think one of the most annoying things about DTs from a non-Protoss perspective is that you can follow up with some seriously nasty pushes. And already he's got that Glaives upgrade for the Adepts. Just as he moves out of there too, he has those 3 Adepts come in. Luckily, there's plenty of Queens here to deflect those units for the moment. And these Lings, at least half of them are going to continue across here towards that third base location for Blysk.
Oh, good harassment though from Blysk because Iaguz moved all of his Queens over to the third base. He gets in, forces a lot of lost mining time. Only a couple of drone kills, but seriously, this is doing some damage.
It certainly is. Lost mining time and some worker kills. He's up to 4 so far, and he's still alive here. He's still targeting down workers, and this is actually doing very well for 3 Adepts, getting 8 worker kills and some lost
and in the
mining
main as well. The Dark Templars going to town, picks off the Queen. The Warp Prism is here, and it can kind of give the Dark Templars a bit of a free blink when they get damaged as well, and you'll see him using that now, and he can also kind of use it to blink out of range from the Spore Crawler. He might want to warp in a few more, and he does. These are all DTs, and they'll actually be able to trade very well with the Lings. Some great micro so far. Some sick damage coming down, but the Warp Prism's in danger.
This is going to be real difficult for Iaguz. He's already lost a lot trying to hold this off, and with the Queens coming up, he will be able to deflect this, especially now that the Warp Prism is out of the picture. But guess what? He's killed 31 workers, 32 at final count.
It's a massacre.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that was just crazy amounts of damage, and Immortal decided to go for a leisurely stroll.
I'm reminded of the duck song, like just waddling away.
Yep, and it's going to be uncontested all the way home by the looks of it. And you know what? Blysk behind this, grabbing a third base. He's got 55 probes. He's getting a bunch more tech, including the Forge coming up there and a new Warp Prism. And poor old Iaguz is going to have to sit there playing catch up on that drone count now.
This Immortal is like the ultimate Chad. He's just coming home after a long day. He's like, "What's up, guys? What did you do today?" And the other Protoss guys are like, "We don't even want to talk to you right now." And this guy's just like, "Man, I saw creep. Get out of my way."
Probably still has bits of it stuck to his little Immortal feet. And,
it's gross.
Yeah.
Needs a shower.
What? I don't know if I've asked you this before, but what do you think creep feels like?
Oh man, it'd be somewhere between like, that fake slime that you play with as a kid that you kind of make, and it's actually really bad for you because it's got all kinds of chemicals in it.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of between that and cotton candy or fairy floss.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable. I always thought of it as sort of like a seaweed, like that fine sort of mossy seaweed. It feels really slimy, but at the same time, it's not.
So tasty. That's really bad because then I'd just be looking at creep and getting hungry.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a stretch for me. I don't think creep would ever exactly make me hungry, but hey, you never know. If it was delicious, anything's possible.
Hey dude, don't knock it until you try this twice. Oh my god, Blysk! Iaguz now finds a great catch there. Iaguz has been doing some great damage control. He's up to 66 workers. He's getting that 4th base established. So he's not down and out yet. He's got a good transition. He's going for the lurker den. He's also getting his upgrades happening. He's got a decent amount of Hydras, going for all the upgrades there. But meanwhile, I think that Blysk is playing this pretty well himself because he's predicting the switch into Hydras and he's already getting the Colossi and the upgrades there to compensate.
Exactly. And what has Zerg been doing if not Linkbane Hydra at the moment? So I think it's a fair call, and also getting a look in the bases really helps just to confirm that this is what he should be making. We do actually have lurkers on the way, so with the 7 that are currently morphing in, we'll see if he can get some magic done with that, because there is an observer here, but if he picks that off, he might be able to push Blysk's army into a bit more of an awkward position, maybe take out the 3rd base if he can sort of contain him out of that with the lurker range.
And then it'll be kind of a ticking time bomb. Blysk will have to go for maybe some disruptors or maybe try and buy some time for some storm. But it looks like Iaguz is kind of going to catch Blysk out of position here. Very difficult to try and get rid of these lurkers now that they're already set up. So Blysk has to evacuate this base. Thankfully, he does have another base warping in on the left-hand side, so he will be able to kind of use his probes as refugees over there. He'll be able to set up shop. And the Colossi, they've got the range upgrade, doing very well, trading very nicely against those Hydras.
So
getting a little sloppy.
Almost gets that observer, but isn't quite able to make it. Like, one more shot and he'd be able to do it. But he is getting pushed back. There's not a lot of buffer left here. He has to wait for these lings to come up and save these lurkers, but he gets right on top of it. The damage! Oh, that's ridiculous.
Was that hold position, or was that just Blysk throwing his units away? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It must be hold position or something. That seemed a little weird for half the army to just move forward into lurker range like that. But Iaguz does get out of there, having killed the base. All the lurkers still alive, I think. So that is a nice plus for him. Starting to get a little bit of revenge for the pain that Blysk inflicted on him earlier on. And it looks like he may go for round 2 towards this 4th base location.
Yeah, decent creep spread by Iaguz as well. I mean, not the best. I'd kind of expect more from a Terran player, but still. It's not bad. And he sets up on the high ground, going to be threatening this 3rd base. I'd love to be seeing him do a little bit more with his counterattacks. He does have a couple of lurkers over here, cleaning up a lot of the probes on the right-hand side. But Blysk is up to 71 workers, so he can afford to lose a couple. But this gets a little tricky now. He's adding on the Immortals. He needs to get some more beef in this army, and he doesn't have a lot of range there. I like Iaguz's position, especially with that 5th base coming in the hive.
He's got that high ground. He's got the overseer in the... I actually forgot the name of it. The one that lets it see further but not move. So he could potentially grab himself any observers that come towards him. More lurkers being morphed right in Blysk's face here, and he's actually going to head maybe back around to this 3rd base by the looks of it. If he could even wedge himself between all 3 of those bases, that would be pretty gross.
Yeah, if he can get in between these 3rd bases with these lurkers, he'll be in a 6th spot. But he does just want to play a little bit more cautiously, I suppose. That's a lot of lurkers, Zeph, and here we go. Blysk is going to try and clean this up. The Immortals are doing great work against the lurkers. The lurkers wasting a lot of the shots on the Archons, and Blysk is just tearing through this army, but it looks like Iaguz will be able to trade out and just enough units to try and break even. Cost inefficient for Iaguz, but he had the economy behind it. He's got the 5th base up and running. Did a nice job. No observer here, by the way, so he might actually lose the Colossus. That's pretty funny. And the AoE, nice moves.
Bonus kill there. I gotta say, Iaguz has done a really good job considering how this game started for him. He's now back up to 74 workers himself. He's had some great success with lurkers. Not so great losing them all in that last fight, but he's not done with them yet. It looks like he's still gonna morph some, getting that digging claws upgrade as well. See if he can't do a bit more. What's that, his 5th base? Now finishing up there in the middle?
Yeah, it is. 5th base, a lot of gas. A couple of macro hatcheries going down. He's got the hive. He's got a lot of units. He's just about to be maxed out again. He's got a decent mineral bank, and now that 5th base is down, he'll start to build up a lot of gas as well. Zergling run by here. So this is really designed to get the army out of position, and it's going to work a treat. And Iaguz moves into the natural. He's also got a lot of his Hydras over here, so he will be able to take out this base if he focus fires it down. The Zergling's going into the main. He's going to be able to take out a lot of probes, if not even clean up some of the tech buildings over here. Meanwhile, Blysk moving down, wants to clean up, wants to defend. Nice storms coming down. Iaguz will be deflected from this position at the very least.
Yeah, we'll have to get on out of there, but some Lings in the main. He's going to go for the Templar Archives here, going for any high-value target he can get. Yes, please finish that. It's all yours, buddy. And he's going to be able to kill that off. Blysk still warping in some units to replenish. And these charge lots will clean these Lings up. But I guess maximizing the amount of value he's going to be getting out of those. Even picking off a couple of probes on his way out here.
Oh, he's still being annoying. He might even pick up another couple of probes in the natural. It's not too impactful because Blysk is kind of oversaturated there anyways. But what was really cool was taking out the Templar Archives, so High Templars couldn't be warped in for a little bit. Had to be thrown down again, that building.
A lot of firepower here.
Yeah, a lot of firepower actually from both sides. The shield upgrades coming in from Blysk as well. Shield battery is now trying to get some decent defense going down. Shield battery and a cannon's a really nice defense, but it won't last forever. And a huge engagement setting up here on the left-hand side from Iaguz, and Blysk is caught out of position once again.
Yep, he's getting pulled all over the place a little bit here. Nice line of Hydras plus the Lurkers means these Zealots get shredded. Nice storm on a clump of Hydras there towards the left. Another one going straight in the face of those Hydras, but it looks like he doesn't actually have enough here on the ground to finish that army off. The fourth base falls, and Blysk has to retreat.
Yeah, oh my god, I think Iaguz is actually going to win this game, Zeph. Oh.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job at keeping the pressure up on Blysk. I think he's lost 7 observers in this game, Blysk has, because Iaguz keeps taking those out. And that really enables those Lurkers to do maximum damage on the ground, get rid of all those sort of throwaway units from the gateway at the front. And then he gets into that meaty Protoss center where he can really do some damage to the army. And Blysk, this third base is quite oversaturated. He really does need another base operating because we're almost 16 minutes in the game and he's mined out in the main. Not much is left in the natural, and he's still got this huge 5-base Zerg army to contend with.
Couple of probes, just long distance mining the 4th base. I think that Blysk has maybe one more push left in him. He'll try and get, well, maybe 150 160 supply, just get a decent army, decent upgrades together. He does have +3 weapons at the very least. Iaguz low on the upgrades, but Iaguz isn't going to give him enough time. Some storms will be going down. Iaguz bunching up a lot of the units. The Hydra's taking a lot of damage, as do the Lurkers. Blysk might be able to clean this up. Maybe he can just hold on.
It's like he's done it for the moment. He will live to see another few minutes at least. We'll see what Iaguz follows up with, because he is still sticking to that sort of lair tech units. He does have a hive available to him, but he hasn't invested in any Ling upgrades. His Hydra upgrades are only at +1. What are Bliss upgrades at, actually?
He's got +3 weapons and +1 shields. No armor.
Yeah. So, if he keeps taking good trades, I mean, maybe he can get something going here, because his army definitely hurts a lot more than Iaguz's does on paper. It's more like Iaguz is getting great positions with Lurkers, and okay, now he's being extra dirty. Lurker drops, what?
Now, he's lost his Terra Mine, and he's gone straight for the Zerg Mines. That's a long recall. Oh, every time I see it, it gets longer and longer.
Yeah, and this Lurker is just one more thing that Blysk has to think about, even though it's not doing much damage at the moment. And again, Iaguz moves forward. Not actually sure if I like this. His off creep doesn't have a lot of firepower to support, but you know what? He does get that 4th base again, and Blysk isn't keen to engage that right now.
Yeah, Blysk's economy is just in the toilet. And he's actually doing a great job of holding on and taking great engagements. Blysk has been so much more cost efficient than Iaguz this game.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's a numbers game. Iaguz, he's been on 5 base for a while. He's mined out of his main and natural, and now he's going for the 6 base on the right-hand side. He's maxed. And now he starts to build up a bank. And eventually he'll just be able to keep sacrificing units. It can be like water on the rocks. And it won't matter because he'll just be so filthy rich. The Viper's coming in as well to abduct the Colossus. Will be just that cherry on top.
There we go. 5 of them just popping around about now. And once they drink up some energy from a nearby hatchery or Evo chamber, they'll be ready to go. And without those Colossi, there's actually not a lot of Bliss army left. It's primarily Immortals, which against a large number of... Oh god, please run. Against a large number of Hydras aren't going to do too well. But Blysk is pushing forward here. He may be able to get in here just before those Vipers are ready. 3 more still building there. How's this engagement going to go? Is there enough here for Iaguz?
I think this is going to be the Braveheart engagement from Blysk because he knows that he will basically never be able to get any more economy left in this game. And so he is going to try. He will take out one of the expansions from Iaguz, but here come the Vipers, Zeph. The Colossus will be going down. He actually abducts the Observer, which is actually pretty cool, but another couple of Observers bringing up the back. Iaguz's micro has been pretty sloppy, but he's got such a huge bank, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, he's still abducting into this Hydra army. There's actually not a lot of it left, but similarly, Blysk has a very bruised, mostly Immortal army left here as well. He takes out the 5th base, which is a nice little win, but he's still running out of money, as he pointed out. A couple of Zealots gonna have a wander down here to the bottom left, but there is a Spine Crawler to meet up with them there.
Yeah, we'll be able to do a little damage. Takes out the Spine. I don't think he's going to be able to get that Spore Crawler, though. The Hydras pop in time. And Blysk, he needs to do something. The longer this game goes on, the further and further ahead that Iaguz becomes. And Iaguz just maxed out again. He's almost got as many Vipers as Blysk has ground units right now, Zeph. Here come the abducts. Here come the abducts. They're going to be real. No. Everything's melting. Oh my god, the humanity.
They just don't stand a chance.
Oh, yeah, that's game. GG. Wow. Iaguz proves his stuff, takes a win, brings his team into the lead, and now it's anyone's game. I think we're going to an ace match tonight.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Impressive stuff from Iaguz there. And what a recovery from a 30-drone deficit at the beginning of the game from that aggression that Blysk threw out. I gotta say, all things considered, Blysk still looking pretty good.
He's a handsome devil.
He certainly is a very talented Protoss player indeed. So hope to see more from him in the coming weeks, and I'm sure we will. Well done to Iaguz, the Lurker King here, taking out Blysk and putting a point on the board for his team, leading 2-1. I mean, they only have to close out one more map, and they will actually win this round. But can Downfall stop them? You did indicate earlier that Pez might be okay up against Fury on Blackpink.
Yeah, Pez is the kind of player that's been around, been a very good Protoss player competitively since 2012, 2013. Really when he came into his own, and now fast forward 4 or 5 years, he's taken a break from StarCraft at times, but he comes back and he gets back up to his old level very quickly. He's a very talented player. Fury we saw up against Hutt just the other night on Ascension to Iron. He put up a really good fight, and he had a really creative build. But I feel like you've got to go with the veterans in these cases because they've just been doing this for years. But if Fury can do it here, that would be my favorite storyline of the tournament so far. So I don't want to count him out. And I think that he actually has a decent chance after seeing his form against Hutt the other night.
Exactly. And statistically, his versus Protoss is actually his best matchup now.
Ooh, that's interesting. Wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird, especially for our region where previously there haven't been that many Protosses, and then suddenly Downfall basically fleshed out their roster with all the Protosses in the region that we totally forgot about.
Yeah. So, it's like, well, if everyone else isn't drafting the Protoss, why don't we just take them all and make a team that's actually performing pretty well? I like it. I like it a lot.
Exactly. So, guys, we'll take a quick couple of minutes. Make sure we have these players ready to rock and roll for Blackpink. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.